In March, our theme was developing our spiritual mindset. And we have been doing that with this book, Presence and Potential, Experiencing Your Higher Self and Living in Wholeness by Martha Creek. And it has been 26 opportunities to shift out of our pain body and to develop and shift into our more spiritual mindset, to allow ourselves to let go and release the things and more proactively live life from that divine essence that is within each one of us. What is a pain body? Eckhart Tolle defined this term, pain body, as the accumulation of past emotional pain and energy that has not been processed, that has not been accepted, that has not been released. All of that stuff that has been within us that prevents us from experiencing that idea of heaven on earth, that overshadows that idea of our spiritual nature, that divine essence that is within us, allowing that essence to shine through. And so it's an opportunity for us to let go and release that emotional residue that's keeping us stuck in a victim mindset, keeping us stuck in a less than mindset, keeping us stuck in that mindset of there's not enough in the world. There's not enough in my life. I'm not enough. And as we begin to release those thoughts and ideas, we begin to lean into that divine essence, that truth of who we really are. That truth is your spiritual nature. This book has been a wonderful opportunity for us to release that pain body because the pain body, that emotional residue, takes over our imagination. Have you ever noticed that? It takes over our imagination, and that's the fuel for our stories in life, our pre-catastrophizing. That's one of my favorite words. Our envisioning everything that could go wrong in life, coming at life from that perspective of everything's broken. That emotional pain body is active within us in how we see ourselves and how we see each other in relationship. How we see each other and connect with each other is filtered through this. So it's a good thing to just get rid of, isn't it? Or at least to work on. And so this last month, we've been looking at 26 ways to shift out of our pain body and shift into our spiritual mindset. And that spiritual mindset, that idea of knowing that we're one with the allness of life, love, and wisdom. Knowing that we're one with God and God is within us, not like a raisin hidden in a bun somewhere, as Eric Butterworth would say, but in us like the ocean is in the wave. It is the presence within us. It is the power within us and the strength within us. So shifting into our spiritual mindset where we are well differentiated, where we have better emotional intelligence, where we're more self-aware, we become a spiritually centered leader in our own life. It all begins with vision. We have goals in life. For some people, they're big, lofty goals, things that we want to do in life, what we want to accomplish in life. For others, it's just, I want to get out of bed by a certain time in the morning. That's mine. But this vision is a little bit different than that. It's not holding a vision of what we want to do in life, but it's holding a vision on who we want to be in life, who we want to show up as in life. And this is a moment by moment, situation by situation occurrence. Because there are situations in our life, yes? Situations happen. And as those situations happen, we have the ability to choose, how do I want to show up in this experience? Do I want to show up from my pain body, or do I want to show up from that higher self, from my spiritual mindset? And that's really what these tools are about in that vision, is holding the vision of how we want to show up in life. Now, one way you might do it is with your white stone word. If you were here at the beginning of the year, we gave out white stones, and we invited you to select a value that you want to anchor yourself in for this year. How do you want to show up in life? There's a big white poster board out on the bulletin board, which has all of our white stone words. This is who we've come here to be. These are all the things that we've come here to be: love and open-hearted and strong and flexible and wise. What would life be like if you showed up that way? What would life be like if you brought that to each of these situations? Listen to this. In the book, Martha says, be willing for a vision to be as clear as it is, and or get clearer over time. Keep your eyes on the vision and keep going in that direction. Be aware that you are well equipped and fully supported in navigating any of the winds between point A and point B as you move in the direction of your vision. If we hold that idea of this is who I want to show up in life as, whatever we want to do in life will take care of itself. We will move in that direction with confidence, with strength, with poise, with ease, and with grace, because we're centered in our own spiritual mindset. Things will happen, situations will come up, and being willing to be present to those situations with that spiritual mindset of strength and understanding and love. And all of these practices in here from, do you remember some of these? Contain your own reactivity when others are reacting around you. Take a stand, but be less anxious. Don't confuse closeness with sameness. Keep relationships open. Refuse to be coerced, willed, threatened by other people. And refuse to coerce, will, or threaten other people. All of these tools and tips that she puts in here is what happens when the pain body has taken over, when our adverse ego has taken over. And all of these are great tips for us to be present to that one presence and power, that infinite intelligence within us, and still be in community, still be in connection with one another, in relationship to one another as we go through these experiences. When we do that, we're able to see more clearly the divine in someone else and the light in someone else. The next tip is create a wide repertoire of responses. You know what's coming up tomorrow. You're going to go into work, you're going to get up in the morning, you know what's coming up. You also know the people that are going to show up. And the one thing we know about each other is that we know each other's buttons, and we're really good at pushing them. Knowing the situation, you can prepare for that situation. You can decide what spiritual value do I want to bring into that meeting, what spiritual value do I want to bring into that interaction, so that I'm coming prepared with my spiritual mindset to talk about business, to talk about our finances, to talk about the things that are more difficult. And as we come to those situations with that presence already anchored within us, we're able to be in that situation and be positive, be proactive, be productive. And even when things go the opposite direction, know that it's okay. I have within me everything that I need to stay grounded in this present moment. If we don't do that, our pain body takes over, right? And we are predictable. Everyone knows how we're going to show up too, because they know our buttons. And subconsciously, we're there like this, like little kids. Do you ever like ride in a car as a little kid and you're sitting there poking your sibling? Or you're just standing there like this? I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. We know how to push each other's buttons. And so as we begin to rewire our buttons, that when they get pushed, instead of going to the triggering anger, frustration, upset reaction, I go to my spiritual value of being present, being centered, and just recognizing the emotions that I'm feeling, but not reacting to them. That's the power of developing a spiritual mindset, allowing ourselves to be present to that sibling who's always poking at you, or that person that's always frustrating you, that's always criticizing you. Be willing to be present to that presence within you in every situation. And as we develop a broader set of responses, we become aware of the reactions, become aware of my own reactions, be candid with myself. Where do I react? Where do I get frustrated? Where do I slip out of this idea of being the best me I can be? What would life be like if I practiced just one of these tips every day? What would life be like if I prepared myself with one of these tips for a meeting that was coming up the next day? What would it feel like to bring your spiritual value into that interaction? Bringing your spiritual values perhaps open-hearted, authentic, spiritual strength, that spiritual will, that willingness to be present. And you can also go back to your why. Why is this important to me? Why is it important to me to be that spiritual presence, to be that essence within me? How will my life be different if I show up in that way? When we start to do this and practice this on a daily basis, the pain body will fight back. That's its natural response. It's going to fight back in so many ways. Oh, yeah, but they did this, blah, 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 blah. They're going to open the file cabinet of everything that you have of that person and every single thing that they did and bring it out to you and saying, see, this is why we're not understanding. This is why we don't have to be a present person, because of this. The pain body is going to show you all of the things in life that drag you back into your automated behavior patterns, that drive us back into its own cycle. So when you notice that, be aware of that. Martha Creek says this: anytime we make a hint of change in a situation, the system, and whatever system that is, our internal system, our family system, the emotional system that we're in, whatever system that we're in, will push back. The system puts pressure on us to change back. When we hold a higher note, over time, the system recalibrates. So as we hold this idea, even though it's uncomfortable at times, but as we hold true to it consistently, constantly, our system will recalibrate. It takes a little bit of time for our brain to rewire. The system itself can come into a higher note, a higher consciousness, a higher thinking. Expect some resistance when you start to do this at work, and stay the course. And there's a lot of support for you. There's a lot of support for you. When you start to live from these principles, people that have that same principle will start to align with you. Another form of support is what we do here at Unity Palo Alto. In fact, Christine was talking about this earlier, the idea of the spiritual enrichment program. Each week we got together and then we started talking about the books. How did we respond to it? How did it affect us? So this is what one person said. The classes became a weekly sacred space, allowing us to share and witness the unique ways in which each person's spirit resonated with the lessons presented. I felt blessed to hear the interpretations and insights of my classmates, each offering a glimpse into their personal experiences and reflections. Their shared journey enriched my understanding and deepened my connection with the teachings. Another person said this: I wanted to write you and express my deep gratitude for the study group. I've been wanting to dive deeper into my spirituality, and that's exactly what I needed to stay connected with our spiritual community and my own oneness with the divine. It helped me keep that connection alive throughout the week. I felt immensely blessed to be a part of Unity Palo Alto, and I can't imagine my life without it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Divine Spirit and Unity Palo Alto. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Holly, for sharing that. You have a spiritual community. This is your spiritual community. Now, I'm going to run another spiritual enrichment program probably in a couple months. I have a spring-summer one, and then we'll have our traditional fall enrichment program. And this is what it's all about. It's getting together to share with one another what we're learning, how we're growing, what's coming alive in us so that we can learn and grow together. And that is what a spiritual community is all about. Creating that sense of oneness with each one of us through our shared spiritual experience. 2 more tips. Number 25, allow time for things to process. Here's the paradox. We are spiritual. And that divine essence within you, that spiritual nature, that spiritual truth is alive in you and active and ready instantly. It's our human side that takes a little bit of time. Rewiring our buttons. It's reforming those neural pathways within us. And sometimes that takes time with practice, with consistency. So keep going. The time the system needs to recalibrate will be the time the system needs to recalibrate. There was a wonderful question asked of Martha during our Zoom call with her. It was, how long did it take you to embody all of these things fully? The first thing she heard, at least what I heard, the first thing she said is, you already have it within you. And it's a moment by moment, situation by situation experience. When something shows up, you respond to it in that moment. And it's a lifetime. All of those are true because life happens. situation happens. The transformation within you begins the moment you say yes. The moment you say yes to God, you say yes to Spirit, you say yes to your spiritual abilities, and you say yes to bringing that out into the world. The final tip is to accept solitude. Now, this was an interesting word for me, solitude, because there will be times when you are standing alone. There will be times when you have an idea and no one else is picking it up. There will be times when you want to get together or share something with somebody and there's just no receptivity there. And that is okay. See, the pain body's going to create stories about that, right? The pain body's going to say, that's because they don't like you. That's because they're not interested in you. The reality is we're also wound up in our own stuff that we don't always have time to worry about what everyone else is doing or thinking. Don't push against solitude. Take purposeful, intentional time in the silence. Take purposeful, intentional time to be present to yourself. Without distracting yourself, it could be a walk, it could be your time of meditation and affirmative prayer, it could be time doing the dishes. Just take time in that stillness to be present to you, to God, to the allness of life, love, and wisdom. I'm going to read our affirmation and then invite you to affirm it with me. In the silence, I feel the presence of God, and I know my divinity. I am strong, I am creative, I am wise. Together, in the silence, I feel the presence of God and know my divinity. I am strong, I am creative, I am wise. And so it is. 26 tips to move from our pain body to a spiritual mindset. I'd like to finish with this poem. This is a daily prayer by Joyce Riley. We can be brave even though fearful. We can be joyful even though tearful. Hearing the message, let us answer the call to pray and affirm the best for all. Opening to love, let us say, love is the light and peace is the way.